In today's discussion, grasp the fundamental distinctions between Catholicism and Protestantism, two major branches of Christianity. Catholicism, with its rich traditions and hierarchical structure led by the Pope, contrasts sharply with Protestantism, which emerged from a call for reform and emphasizes individual faith and direct scripture interpretation. Understanding these differences is crucial, as these branches not only shape personal beliefs but also wield significant influence over cultural and societal dynamics across the globe. With this foundation, dive deeper into their unique characteristics and historical contexts. Explore the core theological differences that distinguish Catholics from Protestants. At the heart of these differences is the structure and authority within the Church itself. In Catholicism, the Pope holds a pivotal role, serving as the spiritual leader and the vicar of Christ on earth. His authority is seen as a direct line to the divine, guiding the faithful through interpretations of scripture and doctrine. Contrast this with Protestant denominations where leadership is far more decentralized. Here, no single figure wields comparable authority. Instead, individual churches or regional bodies make decisions collectively, emphasizing personal interpretation of the scriptures. This leads us to another fundamental divergence: the source of theological authority. Catholics hold tradition and the teachings of the Church, encapsulated in the magisterium, in high esteem. This body, consisting of the Pope and bishops, interprets the faith and moral laws, ensuring they align with long-standing traditions. On the other hand, Protestants are staunch advocates of sola scriptura, or scripture alone. This principle asserts that the Bible is the sole infallible source of faith and practice, rejecting external interpretations or traditions as equally authoritative. The concept of sacraments, particularly the Eucharist, also highlights key differences. Catholics believe in the transubstantiation, where the bread and wine become the actual body and blood of Christ. Most Protestant denominations view the Eucharist symbolically as a commemoration of Jesus' Last Supper and a testament to faith. These theological distinctions lay the groundwork for broader differences in practice and belief. Now, observe how these theological differences translate into distinct cultural expressions. The Church plays a pivotal role in the daily lives of both Catholics and Protestants, but the way it permeates their cultures can be quite distinct. For Catholics, the Church is often the epicenter of community life, hosting a myriad of social events, from festive Christmas markets to solemn Easter vigils. These celebrations are not just religious observances, but also vibrant community gatherings that strengthen bonds among members. Protestants, while also celebrating these holidays, often emphasize personal Bible study and the individual's direct relationship with God, which can translate into more subdued communal activities. Their gatherings might focus more on scripture readings and individual reflection rather than elaborate public festivities. Moving beyond local communities, the influence of Catholicism and Protestantism extends deep into the arts. The Catholic Church has historically been a major patron of the arts, commissioning works like the Sistine Chapel ceiling by Michelangelo. In literature, Catholic themes permeate the works of writers like G.K. Chesterton and Graham Greene, who explore complex moral landscapes with a distinctly Catholic flavor. Protestantism, with its emphasis on personal interpretation of the scriptures, has inspired a different artistic narrative, seen in the stark introspective works of authors like John Bunyan and C.S. Lewis. In music, Protestant influences are evident in the soul-stirring hymns of composers like Martin Luther. Globally, as these two branches of Christianity have spread, they have adapted to and shaped various cultures around the world. In Africa, for instance, Protestant missions have led to the growth of vibrant evangelical communities, while in Latin America, Catholicism remains deeply woven into the cultural fabric. The cultural ramifications of these religious differences are profound, shaping societies and their histories. History sheds light on the conflicts and cooperation between Catholics and Protestants. The story begins with the Reformation in the 16th century, a seismic shift initiated by Martin Luther's 95 Theses. This movement drastically altered the religious landscape of Europe, leading to the establishment of Protestantism as a major Christian faction opposed to the prevailing Catholic doctrine. This period was marked by intense and often violent religious conflict. In response, the Catholic Church embarked on the Counter-Reformation. This was an effort to reform the Church from within and to counter the spread of Protestantism. The Council of Trent, which convened intermittently from 1545 to 1563, played a pivotal role in reaffirming Catholic doctrines and addressing issues of corruption and abuse. One of the most devastating manifestations of these religious tensions was the 30 Years' War, which began in 1618. This conflict, primarily fought in Central Europe, involved numerous European powers and was fueled by the sectarian divide between Catholics and Protestants. It resulted in immense loss of life and had lasting impacts on the political and cultural landscape of Europe. However, history also records moments of cooperation and ecumenism. In recent decades, efforts to bridge the divide have been evident, such as the joint Catholic-Protestant commemorations of the Reformation's 500th anniversary. These gestures of reconciliation highlight a mutual commitment to understanding and respect. Understanding this historical backdrop is crucial to appreciating the current relationship between these two Christian traditions. Reflect on the key points discussed about the differences and similarities between Catholics and Protestants. At the heart of their divergence lies theological distinctions. Catholics uphold the authority of the Pope and the Church's magisterium, viewing them as vital to interpreting scriptures and guiding the faithful. In contrast, Protestants emphasize the supremacy of Scripture over church authority, advocating for a personal interpretation of the Bible. Moreover, while both traditions celebrate sacraments, Catholics recognize 7, whereas Protestants typically honor 2, baptism and the Eucharist, seeing them more as symbols than as means of grace. The cultural impacts of these differences stretch wide, influencing everything from the arts to community life. Catholicism's rich liturgical tradition has fostered a unique artistic heritage, whereas Protestantism's emphasis on individual scripture reading has contributed significantly to literacy and personal spiritual practice. Historically, these groups have clashed dramatically, but also found profound moments of cooperation, shaping the social and political landscapes of communities worldwide. Acknowledging these differences not only clarifies our understanding of Christianity, but also fosters greater respect and unity among its followers.